Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Stories around the world, stories at home. This is a national news broadcast bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. We are ready to bring you the top stories at home and around the world. I'm Charita Minupurarachi.
A very good evening indeed. I'm Sharifa Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines.
A Sri Lanka exhibition after a lapse of 16 years. The President says there is no whatsoever threat to national security. Interrogations continue on 3 more suspects of the Ganemulla Sanjeeva murder. The Varied Research says people's confidence on the government and the economy is on the increase. Many sectors commend the allocation of higher amounts for environmental, wildlife and coastal conservation through budget. Physicians show more attention on the health of His Holiness the Pope.
We now move on to those and other stories in detail. Taking a look at local news first. President Anura Kumara Dissanayake says measures will be taken to conduct a special exposition of sacred relics on behalf of the general public after the coming Sinhala and Tamil New Year.
The President further said that he had conducted talks with the Mahanayaka Theras of the Malvathu and Askira chapters in this regard today. He also said that the Mahanayaka Theras have agreed to conduct the exhibition through mediation of the Governor, District Secretary, the Diyawada Nidame and the other state officials. The President has made these remarks after paying homage to the sacred tooth relic at the historic Sri Lanka Baligava in Kandy. The President has also visited the Malvathu Mahavihara and had talks with Mahanayaka of the Malvathu chapter, Most Venerable Tibatuave Sri Siddhartha Subangala Thera. The Mahasangha on this occasion have extended blessings to the President through chanting of Seth Pirit. Thereafter, the President has arrived at the Askiriya Mahavihara and had a discussion with Mahanayaka of the Askiriya chapter, Most Venerable Varakagoda Sri Jnanaratana Thera. The Karaka Sangha Sabha of the Askiriya chapter, headed by Anunayaka Theras of the chapter, were also present on this occasion. The Mahasangha had chanted Seth Pirit to President and extended blessings to the President. Thereafter, the President Anura Kumara Dissanayake has expressed opinions to the media. Speaking on the Sacred Tooth Relic exhibition, the President said a Sri Lanka exposition has not been conducted in the past 16 years. Therefore, a request has been made regarding the conducting of an exhibition of Sacred Relic. An agreement has been reached to conduct the exhibition after the New Year. Accordingly, all relevant officials have come to an agreement to engage in the necessary work relating to the conducting of the exhibition. Responding to a query, President Dissanayake today assured that there is no threat to the country's national security. There have been conflicts between underworld criminal gangs. It has not posed a threat to the general security of the public. However, he emphasized that these underworld groups have spread their reach into various fields and institutions over a long period of time, and as a result, their connections have evolved into a destructive network. They are making a strong effort to suppress them, and they are confident that they can succeed in any endeavor. President Dissanayake also mentioned that these various underworld gangs is processed with political backing in the past, but that protection no longer exists. On the other hand, the government has received some information and investigations are underway regarding them. There are suspicions whether there are simply clashes between underworld gangs or possibly whether an invisible hand is coordinating and directing these actions from behind the scenes. Responding to another query raised by the media personnel, the President reaffirmed the government's commitment to conducting the local government elections as soon as possible. He assured that there are no legal obstacles preventing the Elections Commission from holding the elections, and the government has already allocated the necessary funds, and the President expressed confidence that the Election Commission will soon announce the election date. And meanwhile, the President has stated in Kandy today that a Sri Lanka exposition will be conducted after the Sinhala and Tamil New Year, and accordingly an exposition of the sacred relics is to be conducted after a lapse of 16 years. Historical sources say that the sacred tooth relic was brought to the island from India by Prince Danta and Prince Hebamala during the regime of King Kitsurimevan in the Anuradhapura era. King Kitsurimevan, who had brought the sacred relics to the Anuradhapura town in possession, and also said that to have performed many rituals with great honor and respect in this regard. Since then, every king who came into power in the kingdom performed special pujas in honor of the sacred tooth relic. The Sri Dalanda was conducted and considered as a symbol of the king. The sacred tooth relic was paid homage by placing it in a mansion similar to the king's palace. Every kingdom that moved towards the southwestern region of the island following the Anuradhapura era carried the sacred tooth relic to the respective kingdoms. The final location of the board of the sacred tooth relic was the Kandy and kingdom, where it has been majestically kept in the Sri Dalanda Baligava up to now. Even during the period of English rule, rituals in honor of the sacred tooth relic was conducted under the leadership of the Mahanayaka Theras of Malvathu and Asgiria chapters. Historical sources say that the Sri Dalanda exhibitions were also conducted during this period. The Sri Dalanda exhibition was organized in the year 2004 under the leadership of then Diyawadu Nilame Ranjan Vijayaratna. The final Sri Dalanda exhibition was conducted from the 6th to the 16th of March in the year 2009 after the present Diyawadu Nilame Pradeep Nilangadala assumed duties. Anunayaka of the Asgiria chapter Venerable Venderuve Upalatheru said that Buddhists consider that the vision of the sacred tooth relic is similar to the vision of living Lord Buddha. Many local and foreign devotees are expressed and expected to watch the Sri Dalanda exposition. In the last Sri Dalanda exhibition, within a period of 15 days, a crowd from 3.5 to 4 million was reported to have watched the exhibitions. Viewing of the sacred tooth relics is regarded as an extremely meritorious occasion.
The Colombo Crime Division has informed the Colombo Magistrate Courts today 3 suspects taken into custody in connection with the Gane Mulla Sanjiva murder are being detained continuously for questioning. The police says altogether 8 suspects have been arrested in this regard.
One of the arrested suspects is a 22-year-old person who has made arrangements for the gunman to have the firearm 1 day prior to the shooting incident. 2 others have been arrested on charges of assisting the crime by transporting the gunman and the female suspect in a 3-wheeler after the incident. These suspects are aged 25 years and 19 years respectively. Meanwhile, another suspect has been arrested in connection with the Middinia triple murder case. The suspect, a 29-year-old resident of Vekandavilla in the Telambuyaya, was arrested by a group of officials in the Tangol Divisional Crime Investigation Bureau. 5 suspects have already been taken into custody and further investigations are being conducted by the Middinia police station. And meanwhile, the people's arrival of the government has gone up considerably after the general election. The people's appreciation, which was 24% in the month of July last year, has been increased to 62% by now, and it has been confirmed according to the opinion survey in the line of Gallup style conducted by the Varied Research. It has been revealed by the survey that the majority of the population in Sri Lanka are of the opinion that the economy of the country has taken a turn for the better for the first time after the economic crisis. However, the opinion of 47% of the population is that the condition of the economy still remains in a weak condition. As per the survey of Varied Research, this has been less than 71% recorded in the month of July last year. The percentage of the people who do not approve the mode of functioning of the government as a whole has been dipped to 16% from a percentage of 60%. The survey further revealed that the percentage of those who think that the economy is taking a worse turn has come down to 14% from 65%.
In the 2025 budget feature today, attention will be paid to beach conservation, conservation of environment, rainwater management, wildlife conservation and waste management areas.
An amount of 44 billion rupees have been set aside for the year 2025 under the theme Assisting for Evergreen Life. Out of this amount, 13.6 billion rupees will be for wastewater management. Another sum of 3 billion rupees has been allocated for the investment program in order to the improvement of water and wastewater in Greater Colombo. The amount allocated for the third stage of the new program, which comes under the Greater Colombo Water Management Project, has been 7.5 billion rupees. 2025 budget has set aside 5.92 billion rupees for wildlife conservation. A sum of 0.2 billion rupees have been earmarked on the construction work of an electric fence. 8.95 billion rupees have been allocated for disaster management, while another sum of 3.83 billion rupees have been earmarked to minimize the danger of earth slips through stable methodologies. Environment conservation has received an amount of 7.26 billion rupees from the 2025 budget. Another sum of 4.99 billion rupees have been allocated for wastewater management, while 1 billion rupees have been set aside to expand the forest coverage. Out of this, 4 billion rupees have been allocated for the purpose of solid waste management project in the Colombo city. Rainwater management has received a sum of 2.7 billion rupees from the budget. Several sections expressed their views on the allocation of funds for a number of environment prioritized projects. Chairman of the Environmental Justice Centre Hemant Vitanage said that a large amount has been allocated for biodiversity, especially for the expansion of the forest coverage. The amount allocated for this purpose is 17 billion rupees, whereas another 200 million rupees has been set aside for the electric fence. The amount allocated to minimize elephant-human conflict has been 400 million rupees. Environmentalist Sajeev Chamikar pointed out that a considerable amount has been allocated for the environment sector in the budget 2025. A number of crises will have to be confronted due to not managing the environment properly. It is important to spend the money allocated in a constructive manner in order to control the situation.
Vijitha Pereira, who has been a renowned veterinarian of the Wildlife Department, has entered the Order of Sangha at Jetavanaramya, Ingiriya.
Veterinarian Vijitha Pereira served the Department of Wildlife for 26 years. After rendering a yeoman service for the wild animals, he has also compiled a number of books, including 10 Years of Wildlife. He has been decorated with the highest award a veterinarian surgeon in the world can win. The world-famous elephant named Udavalavanammal is alive till today thanks to the efforts of Vijitha Pereira. Even the foreign veterinarian had expressed that the life of the elephant had to be terminated since the condition of the food of the jumbo, which was taken to Udavalava after being rescued from a human trap in Namal area. But with the intervention of Dr. Vijitha Pereira and a group of doctors conducted a surgery, and the elephant is still alive in Udavalava area with the help of an artificial leg, receiving adoration of everyone. Vijitha Pereira, who had treated a number of such wild animals, spent a non-layman's life after his retirement. He entered the Order of the Sangha yesterday at Jethavanarama Temple, Ingiriya, in the name of Venerable Panadure Vimuktiratana.
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya emphasized that special attention will be given to the higher education of children with special needs under the supervision of the Ministry of Education. She made this statement during a meeting held in Parliament recently with representatives from various institutions advocating for the disabled community.
During the meeting, the representatives presented a comprehensive proposal developed in line with local and international standards. Their proposals address several key areas, including strengthening the rights of people with special needs, improving the quality of education for children with disabilities, and introducing higher education opportunities focused to their needs. The delegation commended the current government for allocating funds in the 2025 budget to improve education for children with autism and for establishing a social security system for orphans. Under the Ministry of Education, supervision of the government is determined to prioritize higher education for children with special needs and have appointed the necessary personnel to lead this effort. The government is currently preparing a comprehensive transformation of the education system. The goal of the ministry is to ensure that every child with special needs has access to inclusive education in mainstream schools. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayantissa says that the Ministry of Health continuously extends support to encourage young physicians to follow postgraduate training in neurological surgical science. The Minister has made these remarks addressing the 4th annual academic session of the Sri Lanka Neurological Surgeons in Colombo. This year's session was conducted under the leadership of Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayantissa through the theme Neurological Surgery Studies to Enhance Surgical Knowledge and Skills. The Minister has appreciated the excellent contributions made by neurological surgeons in extending quality and efficient treatment service to the patients. At present, 27 neurological surgeons are engaged in services representing state and private sectors. The Minister further said that necessary plans are being prepared expeditiously and providing a striking and a more advanced treatment to the patients in the times ahead.
The Neurosurgeons Association of Sri Lanka is unwavering in its commitment to advancing the field of neurosurgery through dedicated efforts in education, research and collaboration. Your dedication to pushing the boundaries of medical knowledge and patient care is truly commendable. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to both the SBNS and the NSI for their invaluable support and collaboration. Your partnership has been instrumental in driving progress and fostering a culture of excellence within our medical community. In our country, we currently have only 27 neurosurgeons tirelessly working to provide life-saving care to our people. The contribution of each and every one of you, whether in the government sector or private sector, is deeply appreciated, and your unwavering commitment to your patients does not go unnoticed.
The Clean Sri Lanka programs are being conducted successfully throughout the island. State and private sector institutions, non-governmental organizations and community participation have been amply extended for the program organized by the Presidential Secretariat. Cleaning of 150 railway stations in parallel to the 168th birth anniversary of the founder of the World Boy Scout movement, Lord Robert Baden-Powell, are also being conducted.
One such program was held at the Ford railway station yesterday. Similarly, cleaning programs were carried out at the Maradana, Kompanjavidya, Mount Lavinia and Boratua railway stations yesterday. More than 700 Boy Scouts took part in the program. Cleaning of the Anuradhapura railway station under the program of cleaning 150 railway stations was held yesterday under the leadership of President of the Sri Lanka Boy Scout Association, Brigadier J.A.P. Jayawardena. Yesterday's program also included cleaning of 9 railway stations from Badula to Ohia with the participation of Boy Scouts. The Badula railway station was also cleaned yesterday. Another program to beautify the Batiklu railway station through the participation of the Boy Scouts movement in Batiklu, Akurepattu and Kalmuni was also commended yesterday. Many state and non-governmental institutions as well as school children took part in the program. A similar program had got underway centering 33 railway stations from Bentata to Ahankaba with the participation of representatives of Boy Scouts associations and a large crowd. And moving ahead with more local stories, a person has died when an earth mound collapsed near the Galwala junction in Punagala, Bandarawala. The deceased person being identified as a 31-year-old father of a child and a resident of Ulgolla, Bandarawala. The deceased person has come under the earth mound which fell with a foundation of the construction of a well was being carried out by him with several others. According to the reports, although he has been hospitalized, he had already died by then. Bandarawala police is conducting investigations in this regard. And now let's move on to some more local news items in brief. The Deputy Director of Pinnaval Elephant Orphanage, Mirihana Badavala, says that there is an increase in the number of foreign tourists visiting the orphanage. An amount of 956 million rupees had been earned by the Pinnaval Orphanage, and last year, where the amount earned during the month of January this year has recorded 122.9 million rupees. According to our correspondent, an income exceeding 60 million rupees was earned by the 19th of this month. A wild elephant which had fallen into the IZD main channel at the Mamunukotue area in Aralaganvilla in Polonnaruwa has been rescued by a group of wildlife officials of Veheragala. The wild elephant, which was rescued after a 3-hour operation, has been released to the Dimbulagal Reserve. Releasing of 383 small turtles of the Turtle Conservation Project established in the Panudra beach was conducted in the beach last night. Large gathering including foreign tourists were present to witness this occasion. A land area of about 20 acres has been totally destroyed in a fire erupted at the mountain reserve of Durpaduru, Lunugala. The fire broke out in the reserve last night. 134 live cartridges have been found in a SLTP bus travelling from Colombo to Badulla around 12:30 p.m. today. A retired police inspector who was in the bus inspected a parcel on suspicion and recovered these cartridges from a person who was also in the bus. Acclaimed teledrama director of the national television Santusha Liyanage has passed away today at the age of 57 years. He had joined the drama unit of the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation in 1990 and retired from 34 years of service recently. Santusha Liyanage during his professional career had directed many serial and single episode teledramas which included Kahalanadar, Bhavatirtha and Duli Pintaru. A special feature of his creations was subjected to award presentation locally and internationally. Final rise of the remains of late Liyanage will be notified later. And that's it on local stories. Stay tuned with international news after this break. Welcome back with international stories. And Pope Francis had a peaceful night and was rested, the Vatican said after revealing yesterday that his condition continues to be critical.
The Pope is being treated for pneumonia in both lungs at the Gemelli Hospital in Rome.
The pontiff was described as more unwell than on Friday on he received blood transfusions as he suffers from a prolonged asthma-like respiratory crisis. The blood transfusions were deemed necessary due to a low platelet count associated with anemia, the Vatican said. It said that the Roman Catholic leader was altered and he is in his armchair but required a high flow of oxygen and his prognosis remains guarded. The Pope was first admitted to the hospital on February 14th after experiencing difficulties in breathing for several days. And voting kicked off in Germany today in an increasingly polarized election, with the Conservatives tipped to claim victory after a campaign rocked by a far-right bump in the polls. A sluggish economy, immigration and the Ukraine war topped the poll agenda.
With the people now having their
Germans are going to the polls after an intense election campaign dominated by their country's fluttering economy and a succession of deadly attacks that have made migrant and security a focal issue. Some 59.2 million Germans are eligible to vote, and while millions already have by post, polls indicate as many as 20% were undecided ahead of election day. The Conservative Christian Democratic Union leads the polls survey with 30%. The far-right Alternative for Deutschland is slotted to win 20%, while incumbent Social Democratic Party stands in the third place with 15%. Frontrunner Friedrich Merz has vowed a sort of right-way shift in elected to win back voters from the far-right anti-immigration Alternative for Germany, which is seeing a record result after a string and deadly attacks blamed on asylum seekers.
Maths has run on a platform of limiting...
Israel says it is indefinitely delaying the release of more than 600 Palestinian prisoners in another potentially major setback in the ceasefire process. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said the release was now going to be delayed until the next handover of hostages by the Hamas was guaranteed.
Only one more handover of the bodies of 4 hostages who died in captivity is due to take place in the first phase of the ceasefire deal, which is due to the end of March 1st. No arrangements for the release of other living hostages due to take place in the second phase have yet been made. Delegations from Israel and Hamas were due to negotiate the exact terms of the second phase, while the first was ongoing but have yet to meet. Mediators will be working overtime to get the deal back on track and avert a possible collapse after both Israeli and Hamas accused and one another of breaking the terms of the arrangement.
The 54th Chengdu International Panda Lantern Fair brings a visual feast integrated with high-tech and traditional culture to tourists in China's Sichuan province.
Held from 22nd January to 9th March, the Lantern Fair lit up in the night of Jintagan Park in Chengdu City, and visitors can admire dazzling light displays and explore digital entertainment. The Lantern Fair also utilized 3D light animation and water curtain project technology, allowing visitors to interact with the art installations. This year's Lantern Show also introduced 72 special cultural and creative shops, restaurants and digital entertainment business, enriching tourist consumption choices.
And we now move on to sports news. The Sri Lanka women's cricket team participating in a New Zealand tour has left the island yesterday.
The team members were engaged in religious observances at the Sri Lanka cricket prior to the departure. The tour includes 3 one-day fixtures, 3 T20 fixtures, and the ODIs are scheduled to take place on the 4th, 7th and 9th of next month. The T20 matches will take place on the 14th, 16th and 18th of next month. The Sri Lanka contingent, headed by Chamari Antapattu, includes 16 players. Vice captain of the team is Mandi Nanayakkara, who had captained the Sri Lanka team in the Under-19 World Cup cricket tournament. Another introduction to the reserve is Rashmika Sevandi, who was the vice captain of the team that participated in the Under-19 World Cup cricket tournament.
The 10-kilometer sea swimming competition was held yesterday at the port city premises. Before this, the competition had been organized at various sea beach areas of the island, but from this year onwards, the competition will be held at the port city premises.
The competition was organized by the Sri Lanka Aquatic Sports Association, in which 22nd men and 5 women's competitors participated. RMDC Dharmasuri of the Police Aquatic Sports Club won the first place of the men's event. The second place was secured by GSN Perura of Aquatic Sports Club of Sri Lanka Navy, while the third place has been won by RBD Niroshana of the Army Aquatic Sports Club. In the women's sector, the first place was won by NHADE Silva of the Sri Lanka Army Aquatic Sports Club. The second place has been secured by Sinesh Hevrat of the Colombo Swimming Academy, and the third place has gone to HMPP Shanti of Sri Lanka Army Aquatic Sports Club. The occasion was attended by the Secretary of the Sri Lanka Aquatic Sports Association, Mahinda Liyanage, and a number of other officials. that, we conclude tonight news. Do just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita, signing with Sharifa. Stay safe and good night.
Good night.